If you're retired or ready to retire, then this next segment is for you as you prepare to transition into a new lifestyle. It's Financial Wellness Wednesday, and Schools First Federal Credit Union is here to help retirees adjust with ease. And joining us is Schools First Retirement Plan Advisor Yamil Glenn with 5 tips to accommodating to the new income change. Welcome, Yamil.
Thank you for having me, Desiree. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you on. And Yamil, could you explain first what the term fixed income means?
Absolutely. So once you retire, you're no longer going to be earning a wage or a salary. You won't be getting any more promotions or moving on to a better position. Your income will likely consist of Social Security or a pension. You might even receive distributions from any retirement accounts you were contributing over the years. Whatever all of that adds up to is fixed at a certain amount per month. For most people, that means a drop in annual income.
And what do you recommend to do to prepare for this new adjustment?
Preparation is going to be key. Start by figuring out how much you're going to be receiving in retirement so that way there are no surprises. Next, try to figure out what your preferred retirement lifestyle is going to be so that way you can have an idea of what your retirement income needs are going to look like. For most of us, living on a fixed income is going to require that we make some adjustments to our spending habits. So, our first tip today for living on a fixed income is create a budget and stick with it. If you're used to having a household budget, this shouldn't be a big adjustment, but if you're used to spending freely on things you want, it might be time to start adjusting to what you need. If you have the flexibility to throw in a few wants here and there, by all means, do that, but stick to your budget.
Okay, important to know. Stick to that budget because many people spend freely during their working lives by using credit cards, myself included. What should they do once they retire?
It's becoming more and more difficult to not use a credit card, even to just rent a car or book a hotel, you need a credit card. But if in the past you were used to carrying a few hundred or $1,000 in credit card debt, that should stop. Credit card purchases should be reserved for things that you have already budgeted for and that you know you'll be able to pay off in full each month. So, our next tip is eliminate debt and avoid acquiring more, especially high interest debt. You don't ever really want debt with high interest, especially not in retirement.
I was going to ask, what if someone's debt is a mortgage? What should they do?
That actually brings us to our next tip. Consider downsizing your home. By retirement age, most people own their home already outright with no mortgage. But if you have a mortgage, a smaller home could be a little bit more affordable. It could lower your maintenance, insurance, utilities, and potentially even property taxes. So talk to your realtor and your financial advisor to find a solution that makes sense for you and your specific needs.
And what about cars? They're pretty pricey right now, but is that an area where expenses could be reduced?
Absolutely, and in a few different ways. Our next tip is going to be downsize your transportation and insurance. Most working households have at least 2 cars, but if you and your spouse are both retired, do you really need 2 cars? And if you live alone, do you need the size car that you have? A smaller car could be a little bit more economical and save you some money on gas each month. And also, if you're no longer commuting to work every day, talk to your insurance agent. There could be some savings for driving less miles each year.
And these all sound like big adjustments. What can people do day to day?
There's actually a lot you can do, which brings us to our last tip today. Cut some expenses and use senior discounts. If you're used to eating out a few times a week, maybe cut that back to once or twice. And if you're like me and run to the coffee shop every morning, maybe make coffee at home once or twice a week. And definitely, when possible, use senior discounts. I know that I'm looking forward to them, and at that point, you've earned them, so use them to your advantage. All of these small changes will lead to big savings over time. So ultimately, if you're able to cut back on your expenses in a way that allows you to keep more money in your own pocket, you'll be more relaxed and have way more fun in retirement.
Yamil, this was so informational and helpful. I did not know much about fixed incomes, and you explained it greatly. Thank you so much. And for more financial tips, visit SchoolsFirstFCU.org.